This case, the Spigen Tough Armor, is one of the first cases I've ever reviewed, like 12 years ago. I guess when the design of this product is good, it's considered timeless. I've always known that the Tough Armor was a good case, and I've got the data to prove it. I'm testing 50 iPhone 17 cases to find the best 5. This is review number 11 out of 50. Because I'm a reviewer, not an influencer, for the iPhone 17s, my scoring system is based on what the iPhone actually feels when it hits the ground on its corner, on its face, as well as on its camera lump. Each case gets dropped 30 times, so when I say it's terrible, it's because I've got the data to back it up. Now with the iPhone 17 version, Spigen went with the high road. With the iPhone 17's massive camera lump, a lot of case manufacturers went cheap. They didn't reinforce the top of the case, but with the Tough Armor, Spigen took the polycarbonate and moved it all the way up to the top. I'm a big fan of this change. If you want to know why, keep watching. Now the Tough Armor still comes with a borderline useless kickstand. Your iPhone sits on a bit of a yellow impact foam. This case is still a TPU sleeve wrapped in a polycarbonate frame. For weight, this thing clocks in at 50 whopping 8 grams. The first 16 cases I've tested, average is 45 grams. I just purchased the next batch of case, and this is actually going to go up. In terms of bulk, this thing's going to make your iPhone feel quite a bit larger at 65%. That's quite large. Now I'll admit that case seems to get slicker every single year. The finish on the case used to have this really tacky soft rubber coating. Now it's just kind of not there. But the one problem with the finish is that the MagSafe area is going to get less greasy than the rest. And so if you take your MagSafe accessory off, it's going to look a little funny. Now the only saving grace for the handling for this product is the fact that the edge of this case is as thin as the actual iPhone. So it is bulkier, but it doesn't feel like it in your hands. Like the Tough Armor for the iPhone Air, this doesn't feel like a big bulky case on this device. And when it comes to button access, this product has integrated buttons. I really dislike integrated buttons in cases, but Spigen makes it work. Here's why. The buttons are massive. And because the buttons are the width of the entire edge of the case, it is really easy to get at them. Big fan of the action button as well. It's got a different finish to it, and it makes the button incredibly large. So there's no way you won't be able to find it. The case has a built-in camera control button, which is something I can't say for the next Spigen case I'm gonna review, this thing. No issues in terms of screen access, though the clearance between the screen and the top edge or any edge is very, very low. Will it fail the face first drop test? Stay tuned. When it comes to MagSafe accessories, pulling it required 9.2 newtons and pushing it off required 11.7 newtons. Both these values are above average by a minuscule amount. Now when it comes to a protective design, this case has corners that are 3.2 millimeters thick. Corners are almost as thick as this Beats Rugged case. But unlike this Beats Rugged case, the back of this case is also 3.2 millimeters, unlike the back of this case, which is like almost half as thick at 1.7 mils. Now this product, despite having a polycarbonate back, because the polycarbonate doesn't run along the entire edge of the case, it still bends a lot. To bend it 8 millimeters, it took only 16 newtons. That is 46% below average. Is that gonna be an issue when it comes to drop protection? Well, we're gonna find out. Now when it came to corner drops, the iPhone felt 9.7 Gs, which is 7% better than average. Now, after the drop, the iPhone does a little bit of this. That rate of rotation was actually higher by 20%. So the impact foam in the corners of this case actually gives it a bit of pep in its bounce. Now, after it tumbles a little bit and decides to settle down, the rate of that was 45%. Way better than average, and the total force going to the iPhone was only 8% better than average. So initial drop, pretty good, rotation, not great, but overall, this case is very protective. Now, I've started testing the second batch of cases. I haven't really fully agreed to what my final ranking scheme is gonna be, but I definitely know that this Tough Armor is gonna do fairly well in my new ranking system. Now, when it came to face first drops, this case definitely passed. Initial drop was 10% better than average. The total force was 23% lower than average, but the rate at which it settled down was quite a bit longer. Now that doesn't really make any sense to me because the products with rigid backs, that's usually the case, but this thing also has impact foam, which should have dampened some of that. So yeah, I don't know how to explain it just yet. Now when it came to the camera lump, again, there's a polycarbonate thing at the top, so it doesn't squish as easily. When you drop it like this, initial impact was about 5% better. The total force going in was about 11% better, but like the face first drops, it did this, and it was 23% slower. Now this is the 11th case I fully reviewed or fully done the drop test for, and one of the things I really wanted to know was you had a polycarbonate lip around the camera lump, but on the inside you've got a bit of TPU, and I would have thought that the camera lump drop protection data would have been way better with this setup, but it kind of wasn't. So would I get this product if I was a reviewer? Absolutely, this is a good case. These cases are protective, but they don't have the bulk of most protective cases because of this design. So who should be getting this product? Anybody looking for a good daily driver, as well as the need to use this really dingy stinky, useless kickstand. That's all I got for this video. Again, I'm rooting 50 cases to find the best 5. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so that every single time I release a review video, you get notified. Also check back frequently because I'm dropping these the moment I finish each review.